Look out. Footy's back. G'day. I'm Collingwood legend Damien Monkhurst. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm not that big or that ugly. Oh, come on, Jim. I'm Jaymz Clements. That's right, the host of the AFL Today Show. Your new favourite one-stop shop for all things AFL footy. That's right, I'm joined as always by a couple of local dingai. That's right, dinguses. They might call themselves AFL experts. We just call them local footy nuffs. There's Alex Donnelly over there.
Yeah, Jim, happy to be here just off a live stream, which was not great. We had a good time. The game wasn't great.
We had a good time. The live stream itself was excellent.
Yes, the game, not so much, but let's be honest, we found him.
Now, the man in between us, this is the first time since round 2, 2023 that all three of our teams have won.
Get around it.
It is also the first time that this man's team has won all year. It's the stats boy, Lee McAllion.
I've gone full enough mode, got the kit on, got the Davis Uniac top. There used to be my Andrew Swallow one. Got the scarf. Yeah, I'm very, very excited, lads. It's been a great weekend.
His voice is nearly gone.
Yeah, it's on the verge. It's on the verge.
You were discovered underneath a pile of human just refuse.
Yeah, I haven't taken this off.
Saturday evening, Sunday morning technically.
Yeah.
And then had to go straight into a T20 Pakistan-India clash.
Yeah, that was rough. Some spicy kombuchas from Marcus definitely helped.
Very nice. All right.
I'll tell you what, the social media post, a couple of people found that very funny. We did get a text. I got a text message from one of our bosses going, "Do I need to be concerned?" I was like, he's fine.
Hey, what do you mean?
Either way, this is the AFL Today Show, of course. We're going to wrap up all things from round 13. It was a crackingly long, excellent week of footy.
No overlap.
Yes.
This is also the best part.
It.
Thursday through Monday. should just be our footy week. How do we not have this figured out? I'll get to that. Invent Sesh. But either way, get around the AFL Today Show across on, the YouTube channel, the social channels, and smash this across on your podcast apps. Can you smell it though? Footy's back. That's right. Halfway through the season. Quick look from the weekend.
Yeah.
Got a couple of interesting calls at the end of games, one of which the AFL went, we got that one wrong. Andrew,
Did they say
King.
Did they say they got just one wrong?
Yeah,
they didn't say the other ones? Okay.
Nope.
Yo, holding the ball at the end.
Yeah, that was clearly holding the ball. Everyone knows
Stats
that.
Bit stiff, that one, I thought.
It was a bit stiff.
Sicily. He got cleaned up and went to Sicily, but it was actually Tassie. Late bump. We saw a few late bumps this week as well.
Yeah.
Saw a couple today that didn't get paid.
No.
And
it's a bit inconsistent on that rule.
So Tom Green bumped Sicily.
As he kicked it.
Has he kicked it?
Yeah, I don't
It's
know about
not
that.
a free kick.
Nah, I agree.
I thought it was a bit late. Otherwise, we had a really awesome run of results because this week we had some really close games.
Lots of close
Starting
games.
with that Richmond-Adelaide game.
Yeah.
The Lions blew out the Dogs, but then we had an awesome tight Hawks-Giants game, an awesome tight North Eagles game.
Yeah. You can say tight, not that
Saints
awesome.
Suns was not an awesome game, but it was certainly tight. Geelong got up 6 goals on the Swans, and then the Swans came all the way back and won. Carlton kept Essendon at arm's length in a thrilling match on Sunday night, and then the Pies basically just went, "Get out of here, Melbourne," which was pretty fun. So, with all that in mind, was there anything else we need? Oh, we had the MND slide, of course, as well.
Yeah.
Big freeze, got the
for big
beanies there.
freeze, which is very cool. And in terms of other news, we have some big injuries to Petracca, who had very clearly some sort of problem with his ribs.
Yep.
Yeah, that was bad.
Nick Daicos hurt his ankle late.
I think he'll be okay, yeah. Do you think? Or just
might be.
because precautionary, I reckon. Just
think?
obviously they're the best player, so just keep him on ice.
When's their round 15 bye? The Pies?
Yes.
Late bye, right?
Yes.
Yep.
They're the last bye.
So, interesting setup there for Daicos. Probably rest him next week.
Oh, you think?
Give him a couple of weeks.
Maybe.
I don't know. Who are they playing next week?
North. Big game.
Is that my point, Stats Boy?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Exactly. Could they beat them with the under-14 East Kilda mixed netball team?
No, we're coming off a win, Jim. What are you talking about?
He's up and about. Still don't need Harley Reid, bam, bam.
Don't need him.
Anyway, any other injury news there, Alex, that you were looking into?
Not really. There was anything coming off it. Like Nick Blakey apparently went off with 17 different injuries late yesterday, and everyone's like, it's a corky, it's his hip, it's his ribs. And John Lamar's just like, I don't know. He's a lizard.
He's a lizard.
No, there was just a late race. He's like, I'm going to jump on.
A late race.
Get on the punt. All right. Everyone's favourite thing, though, after the round, is time for ladder check. After round 13 of the AFL, we have the Sydney Swans 11-1.
Oh.
Very clearly on top of the ladder, ahead of the best team in the AFL. No, not Essendon. No. Carlton are 9-4 in second. The difference in percentages is hilarious because Sydney just keep belting teams. They're 148.8.
They lost 2% on the weekend, though. How dare
incredible.
they? But it's they've got one game in hand, and with the percentage, it feels like it's a 4-game advantage rather than it being 2.
There's a lot of bad percentages just looking at the top 6, isn't there?
There really is. So Carlton are 109.8, but they are 9-4, so you'll take that. So they're 36 points. They're 2 wins behind Sydney, which is just chaos at this point of the season.
And a game ahead.
Because they've actually
and the game
one more
ahead,
game.
I didn't even think about that.
Tough gear. Essendon, talk about percentages. They're 8-4-1 after that loss on the weekend. They're in third still on 34 points because of the Anzac Day draw.
Yep.
Their percentage is basically an even 100.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah,
is
that's not
amazing.
good. That's not good for third.
They've scored 1,081 points and let in 1,079.
Gross. Port are 8-4.
Yep. Feels right. Off the bye. They had the bye. Who cares?
It's just their name just in that top 4 is like, I don't know.
It shouldn't be.
Someone said this.
Same as
Someone
Essendon.
said, "Is this the most fraudulent top 4 we've seen in a while?" Take out the ladder leaders. It doesn't feel right.
Maybe. Geelong 8-5 after a tough one in Sydney, of course.
Lost
Then
4 of their last 5.
They have. Well, you sort
5 of
of
their last 6.
Is it?
Yeah, it's 5 of 6 because they had the win. They
They
lost
had to
4
win
in a
last week,
row,
lost 4.
and then they won. Yeah, so they lost 5 of 6.
Yeah, that's bad.
Collingwood, after their win today, 7-4-2 on 32 points as well, which is actually always fun because the 2 ties add up to a win.
Yep.
But in 6th spot now, the Pies. 7th, Freo, heave-ho, way to go with that one draw. They're on 30 points. 8. The Greater Western Sydney Giants, they're 7-5.
They're
Remarkably, because they've played 12 games, having had the bye last week.
Yeah.
They're the only team that's 7-5. Very weird.
Yes.
Because you've got 2 7-6 teams. The Gold Coast Suns, who can't play beneath the 28-degree latitude.
What are they doing?
And the Melbourne Demons, who just can't play football well.
Their percentage is 100.1.
Well, your call of them not making finals is I'm starting to lean towards your way
We
now.
just talked about this on the live stream with Al before we signed off. It's like you're looking at the rest of their season and you're probably only guaranteeing 4 wins.
Even those guarantees feel pretty sketchy.
They are North and West Coast, 2 of them.
West Coast have already beaten them.
Yes.
And North could beat them,
Wait,
maybe.
no.
perhaps, if Super
And then,
kicks 10.
and then I think one of them was like, yeah, they played someone like GWS here and we gave them that one.
The Bulldogs, after losing to the Lions, are 6-7. The line of demarcation still rules. They are 11th. If you are better than the Dogs, you're a chance to play finals. If you are not, probably no chance. That includes the very sneakily okay Hawthorn Hawks, who was 6-7 as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, their percentage is 88.1.
Yeah, they're cooked. They're going to have to win a couple of extra games.
Yep. Brisbane are 5-6-1. It's a tricky one. They've got a Thursday night footy game this week against the Saints. Friday.
Friday. We wish there was Thursday.
I'll talk about that in a sec. Brisbane 5-6-1, 22 points. They are adrift of the 8,
There's a sniff.
but they're alive.
Yep.
Saints.
They got the talent for it.
5-8, probably not alive.
Saints not alive.
Adelaide,
Dead.
definitely
Gone.
not alive.
Gone.
4-8-1.
Gonski.
Matthew Nix is like, we're going to double down on what's gotten us here. It's like, you're 4-8-1. I wouldn't do that.
What's gotten them there?
3-10 of the West Coast Eagles. That was a tough loss on the weekend. Richmond, they got a win, 2-11. And North,
Yes.
they also won.
We're back.
Stats boy.
Can make finals from
I
here.
can no longer actually do there is one remaining winless team in the AFL because your beloved North Melbourne Kangaroos won.
I love how North actually posted to Michael Hibbert said on the podcast that North aren't going to win a game. They clipped that up, just said ha ha as the caption and just posted Michael Hibbert saying that. So cop that, Michael Hibbert.
Tough scenes.
Yeah, because he and his premiership medal care.
Nice. Sesh. Alex wanted to have a crack at Braden Maynard and Collingwood fans cheering him to drown out the booze.
Yep.
It does seem weird.
It was gross.
It just
Every
seems
team does that.
People
No,
have
they don't.
I've done that before.
Braden Maynard quite literally ended Angus Brayshaw's footballing career. To the point where it's quite sad where he's not even around the football club at the moment because he can't quite deal with that.
Yeah, it's
And
taken
has
such an
just had to,
emotional
like,
toll.
All right, we're getting deep now. Yeah.
Go travelling.
But it's also
bad. I feel
Melbourne-
like you should boo that man. Hey, A, he's committed war crimes. B, he's Braden Maynard. C, he ruined a guy's career.
Did he get suspended for it?
Melbourne can boo him. That's
But
fine.
yeah, Melbourne fans are allowed to boo him because you can go back to that incident
I agree they
with
can boo
how
him.
their season is directly going right now. But you're like, oh, it's weird that you
I
boo
didn't
him.
say that. Did I? I said that you can boo him. I said if I'm the opposition fan, I want to cheer my player on.
But you're
this
cheering your player because
is it.
he's a prick and a thug and a fake tough guy who last week got
I
hammered
agree
by
with
a
that. I'm not
19-year-old killer. Ah, we can't do that. You can't do that to Braden Maynard. It's not fair. Shut up.
It was funny
Sorry, Gerald.
because all the Collingwood fans are like, yeah, but he's our scumbag.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's fine.
That's
You
all.
do
That's
your
all the
thing.
vibe is. That's all the vibe is.
But mostly,
wrestling
I
is
just want to
that
say,
line recently?
Vent Sesh, I just love how the footy community, outside of all that, Braden Maynard sucks. We all get it.
Yep.
Yep.
But how the community around AFL can get, something like MND, an issue like MND, and really just throw its weight behind it and get everybody involved in trying to combat it, at least sort of taking on some of the responsibility behind it.
Yep.
And I want to see that idea of like social responsibility and power built on and expanded into way more areas and problems and stuff out there.
Yep.
Use footy for the power of good. I love this.
Why not?
Let's see it happen more. Like MND is great. You have stuff like, Dream Time and stuff like this. Like we should be, you don't have to theme every round.
No.
But at the same time, stuff like this, you can do it on very small levels as well, I think, and build it out from there. It could almost be for specific games. So I just want to see the AFL lean into that a little bit more. But actually, mostly, how was that the last AFL Thursday night footy game? What are we doing here, gentlemen?
It wasn't even good teams to watch.
And backing up a horrible Thursday night footy game where you had Richmond
Adelaide
beating Adelaide in Adelaide. This Friday, the gem in the AFL's broadcast crown, we have Lions versus Saints.
Yeah.
Great.
You could have Bulldogs Freo Thursday. That'd be a decent game.
How do you,
But just look at the fixture. There's overlap.
Of course.
Is there overlap with 6 games?
So the
not
event
this
sesh,
week, next
not
week.
next
the
week.
event sesh quite simply is just like AFL.
Next
How have
week.
you cooked this so expertly? It's remarkable.
Yep.
I'm very angry at you. You should take a long, hard look at yourselves in the mirror and go, wait, we should put Jim in charge. Right. Game wraps. Let's do some game wraps. Let's fly through this. Thursday, Adelaide lost to the Richmond Tigers. Hey, the Tigers aren't good, and they beat the Crows, who are also not good. 79-71, and the Crows absolutely stunk in this game, Stats Boy.
They did. The Tigers just a bit of quick ball movement. Jaden Short, your man in SuperCoach, finally fired up. I think he had 31 disposals.
I dropped him a million years ago.
I know.
He's been good ever since.
He's been good ever since. Noah Bolter has to stay in defence. So he's been swapping and changing from forward back because we've had so many injuries. He was amazing. 20 disposals, 12 marks. I just had to pencil him in there because
He had some words for the camera as well.
Did he? Oh yeah,
he
wasn't happy with
He
something.
was so angry. I'm like,
he's an angry man.
wow.
Yeah. That was a bit strange.
It was
wasn't
very odd.
But yeah, Adelaide, that is another classic loss this year. Last 2 years, they've just lost to a lot of really bad teams.
So they lose Crouch, right? And you're like, yeah, cool. He's not a wildly effective ball user. There is something to be said for ball winning.
Yeah,
a little
he
bit
wins
of the time.
clearances. Yeah.
And it's like just having the ball in your possession is sometimes okay.
Sometimes it's pretty good.
But they were like, Fogg sort of threatened for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I called the big, I was up and about early thinking my big Fog game, $34 to kick 5. I was like, let's go.
And then he's like, second half, I forgot how to play for you.
Yeah.
And Adelaide, it seems like they're just rife with problems from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And without Rankine out there, so no Tex in that game, obviously.
Yeah.
Dawson is still struggling after his other thing, but had good, plenty of the
A lot of
didn't
the
he?
touches, but him and Laird this year just haven't had impact at all.
It's weird. So Adelaide bad, Richmond bad, but they won. Friday, the Bulldogs.
Ugh.
Western Bulldogs. Well,
Let's just check. Nope, still the Bulldogs. That's right. 10 goals, 11, 71-2. The Brisbane Lions, 17-12-114 as Eric the Hippie Hipwood goes whoopang and boots 6.
And then
He was
won't
awesome.
do it again for the rest of the year.
Rest of his life.
No, he might.
How many times in 164 games has Eric Hipwood kicked more than 4 goals?
Once.
3.
5.
Oh,
Huh.
that's pretty good.
No, it's not.
Nah,
For someone who's paid about $800,000 a year to kick goals,
Yeah. No, he
pathetic.
hasn't had. He's
he
got a
does
very-
this, but
they've
he
got a
does
very
this
busy
once
forward line.
every 20 to 30 games, and you're just like,
Oh yeah, he's supposed to be.
and
good.
then he kicks 2s and 3s,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, him and Danaher were awesome. They had 8 goals and 17 score involvements just between the two of them. That was an awesome
the
effort.
Bulldog. This game, you see the Bulldogs like, yeah, they're a team that desperately needs the bye, but it's also we look good one week, yeah, and we're crap the next week.
Yeah.
It's the Western Bulldogs lifestyle.
Yeah, it's not an idea of
consistency.
they definitely need the bye. It's like every second week they have the bye. Like they just don't show up every
we don't
second
have a
week.
bye this.
But Chalor, look, he had 30 touches again. Neil was incredible. He had 38.
He was amazing.
It's just that weird sort of next level, where Libba came back and had some absolute Barry Crocker shockers in that game where he's
Wasn't
giving away frees, just turning the ball over left, right, and centre. McRae wasn't doing a giant amount. Bont was seemingly pretty
He got
well held
tagged
and
by
tagged out of it.
Jared Berry in the first half. Still actually did pretty well in the second half.
Yeah.
But.
So pretty strange game, and the Dogs just look inept. And their forward line where you're like, all right, cool. Well, Jamari Ugle-Hagan, get up there and do something. He's like, I'll try. And he shows these tiny little flashes.
Third week in a row. Third week in a row. He's like,
I
it was
kicked
close,
6.
close.
I kicked 2. And you're like, yeah, this is not fun. Riley West got in there as well. Trelaw kicked the first goal of the game. And
Yeah,
it
him
was
and
almost
Dunkley
by
kicked the
mistake.
first 2.
It was so weird.
The podcast buddies.
So that was bizarre. But either way, look, the Dogs stink. They are still the line of demarcation. The Lions just kept their season on.
Yeah, they might get a bit of
football.
confidence.
Yeah, that's like, we talked about it last week. If they lost that game, it was just pack her up, boys, we're done. But it's like, there's a sniff.
I wrote down here as well, Jim, about the latitude for the Lions. So I think they're 10-3 now in their last 13 at Marvel. So yeah, they better away from that latitude line.
No, what's the latitude of the MCG stats, guy?
I don't know.
We should have figured that out because.
Well, they didn't play the MC. Oh,
yeah, but it ties in.
Yeah,
it could be the exact same latitude.
That's a very
Well,
good
it's
point.
not going to be the exact same.
No, it might be slightly different.
It'd be
Yeah.
very
up.
slightly
I'll actually
different.
have a look.
Because they're not built in a straight line.
I don't even know
across
if I
from
can
each other.
find
So
this. Oh, there we go.
Someone
30.
figure that out.
Yeah, it's slightly different.
slightly different.
Yeah, there we go.
Saturday, we go to the Apple Isle, where Hawthorn
James Sicily's
outlasted GWS Giants 85-79. What do I always say on this show? Never trust anyone who says, what do I always say? Because they're absolutely 100% a flog. But one of our often visited phrases, weird things happen in Tassie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Hawthorn beating GWS.
That was weird.
Toby Green was wearing a helmet.
That was funny.
He looked like Darcy Jones. I was like,
bizarre.
is there two Darcy Jones
The kid
there?
that wears the helmet for GWS
Darcy
kind of
Jones,
like,
yeah.
hey, don't get comfortable.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Did he steal it off Darcy Jones? Like
He might have actually just stolen it.
in his lunch money, and he's just like hide him against the lockers.
Darcy Jones is pretty small. He just picked
Yeah.
him up and it all fell off. But Toby Green had a cut on his head, right?
Didn't
Yes.
get a free
So-
kick for it, by the way. Just
off,
throwing it out there.
Chucks the helmet on, which is pretty cool. Strange game. Hawks look good. Also look bad, but then look good.
That's how they've been playing the last 6 weeks. 5 of their last 6 they've won, and they should have won that one they lost against.
So
Port.
there is like a correlation. Literally as soon as Will Day came back,
Yeah.
they've been
He's
good,
been
basically,
awesome,
right?
yeah.
So take us through some stats, boy.
Well,
from
you just
this game.
mentioned Will Day. I was just going to talk about some
good.
best play. 26
Look at that.
disposals, 10 tackles. Like
Oh.
there's a lot of midfielders right now. I think Tom Green had 1 tackle, so they were on each other.
And that's not good for him.
That's the difference between that type of game. You need those tackles in the midfield, and like you say about Carlton sometimes, they need those tackles. And Will Day's been
Yeah.
awesome. Finn Callahan, Alex's mate for the All Australian, very
All
very
Australian and handsome dude list.
good. Yeah, 28 disposals. He was awesome as well.
2 points. Lockie Whitfield had 30 in this one too. Brent Daniels is up and about. But this is the thing. Like, D'Ambrosio was really, really effective in this game, just popping
He's
up
been
left, right, and center. It's like,
great pickup.
what a great pickup.
Yeah.
But GWS had, it was like, I think 7 of the top 10 ball winners right on this in
Yeah.
terms of disposal.
But this is like the Western Bulldogs. They
Exactly.
do that.
And
And they're not as
just
effective.
it's like,
Some,
who
like
cares?
Whitfield can be.
it's a
have games
lot
where
of
they're
dudes just kicking to a big
There's-
contest. You're like, this is gross.
I
What are you
don't
doing?
know what's missing at the moment, but it's just
Josh Kelly,
Yeah, but it-
Stephen Caniglio.
No, but it's Tom Green's impact. He's
Yeah.
dropped off massively when he was playing.
like
Well,
they've
Jesse
still,
Hogan's not
they've
kicking
still got
bags.
more than enough guys to win this game.
Yeah.
But there's no spark.
Yeah,
It's because, I don't know, that
form is off.
you sort of take away those sort of top level performers, and it means Tom Green's something they're doing, and Whitfield obviously having to do a lot more.
Yeah.
And it just limits their impact because you don't have like 2 extra kind of dudes in the middle anyway.
And they can't get anywhere near 100 points anymore when they could.
But also the Hawks.
The
They
Hawks,
rule.
they're awesome.
Come on, Connor McDonald out there cracking it.
Finals.
Jack Gunston kicking goals. Maybe Ochol. CJ as well. And
Oh, you're gonna
great job everybody with the commentary.
yeah. The commentary was bad.
This
on
also hold on, we didn't mention it. The Guernsey clash in the sun. Like, why didn't the GWS wear the charcoal?
Yeah, that was a bit weird. Yeah.
But also,
Charcoal
Fox
might be-
Footy, send your commentators to the ground. We'll get to
They
that
were
later.
there. They were there.
No, they weren't.
There was definitely, like, because they were talking how
I can't
Moons was
remember.
like stuck at Hobart Airport
Yes.
because they were flying in.
He was stuck, but they were in a studio in Melbourne calling the game.
Oh, okay.
So why was he going there?
Boundary rider.
Boundary rider.
Oh, so he was
yeah.
going there just to ride the boundary as
Yeah.
they called it from the studio.
Yes.
Yeah, he's just there.
But that's
by
what they
himself.
do. That's what they do with Lynchy with
They
the
do
games
that
in Brisbane.
sometimes. Yeah,
the
yeah,
games
he
in
flies
Adelaide is just prosciutto.
Yep.
After a few tins.
Yeah.
On the hill.
Great job by Hawthorn though.
Yeah,
They're
they-
flying. They look good. Sam Mitchell, good job.
How far are they out of the 8? Just
like 2 games.
well,
Game and percentage. But
one game, but the percentage is
their
pretty
percentage. It's 2 games. Their
Yep.
percentage is so bad.
Yep.
Hey, North Melbourne beat West Coast. 74,
Yes.
65.
Do we give them a clap or
Come
like?
on, we got to clap them, lads.
You didn't do anything. Oh, your
I cheered us on the whole way through. I was so nervous.
Your passion put them over the line, Stats
I was so nervous.
Take us through it. Come on.
I'm not going to joke around. This was a horrible game. The first quarter.
You're lucky West Coast forgot how to kick.
Wasn't it 3 goals 15 that they were on at some point?
2-15.
2-15 at one point. So that obviously helped it. I'm going to get into that later of just teams annoying me. AFL footy players can't kick straight at the moment. And Alex was talking about people getting in routines and things like that. A lot of West Coast players need a routine. Jack Darling has a routine and the Ali guys don't. Oscar Allen, they're obviously missing. North, they lost their streak of the only team to kick a goal every quarter this year.
How are you the only?
We're the only team. That was this stat that every golf fan was holding their hat on.
Kick a goal in the first
we didn't
quarter.
kick a goal finally in a quarter and we actually won a game. Suva was awesome. Obviously, Jim loves a bit of Suva. Did you put any money on Suva in this one?
I did have money on Suva.
Oh, okay. There you go.
How'd you go?
Kick 6.
To kick 6 and he's kicked 5.
And he didn't touch it in the last quarter.
No, that's very stiff. Obviously, West Coast, horrible set shots. Simpkin, he's back. He's finally back. Best game of the year. 28 disposals,
he
2
basically
goals.
had the game winner, right?
Game winner. He cooked a really good goal from outside 50 earlier. Yo was awesome. 23 disposals, 1 goal. He was
Errol,
great.
tell him to stop.
I can't stop. North did crap the bed in the last quarter. They kicked 5 goals in a row, I'm pretty sure. Or it might have been 6 goals in a row, West Coast.
Yeah,
and I was like, all right, we're done. We got a free kick. Then we got another goal, and it was just, happy days.
Yeah, your mate, Curtis Jones, whatever his name was.
Curtis Taylor.
No, the guy that kicked the goal, the sealer with 30 seconds. Paul Curtis.
Oh, right. I was like,
You're like just running Tony Curtis.
Yeah, Paul Curtis. He's so agile.
You called it on the Thursday that he'd have an impact. Well, he kicked the sealer.
I said he kicked 4. He got 1, and we won. So
that's a percentage of 4.
Yeah.
I was hoping the J Train would kick 6 and Suva would kick 6 and we'd have just like an awesome, horrible team forwards off.
Yeah.
And J Train wasn't doing anything and then got going in the last quarter. I'm like, we're on here.
We're on.
This is
Actually,
gonna be
Suva
awesome.
kicked 4 in a row as well. 4 straight goals.
Didn't give me that last one.
You guys
Anyway,
both suck.
Anyway,
They suck.
great weekend of footy.
Also,
North are finally back.
I heard a commentator called Jamie Cripps the Little Master, and I nearly crashed my car
Gary
into a
Ablett
tree.
is the only little master.
Like, whoever that was, I can't remember what I was listening to, but I nearly had a pile up on whatever road I was on at the time. It wasn't great. High Street.
Okay, don't drive your car into a tree just because of commentators.
No, but hearing Jamie Cripps the Little Master, I'm like, what did I just hear?
Oh, no.
Mummy, what happened to Daddy? Oh, he drove into a tree. Well, he got killed by a driver who drove into a tree and then collapsed the tree onto me because he got angry at a commentator. Amazing.
Oh, funny little stat last one. I'm going, Wardlaw was 0-18 before that game.
I thought it was 0-19.
No, I'm pretty sure it was 18. And he finally got a win. So, happy days.
North ins for the Warlord.
Honestly, they probably not going to play well next week because they'll be partying all week. Finally got a win.
They got let loose in Northbridge with Ben Cousins.
Maybe
chainsaws with Daniel Kerr. All right, 51-48. The Saints beat the Suns in a gross game.
Horrible.
Really?
I have a stat.
Okay.
Go on.
4 of the 5 lowest scoring games ever at Marvel Stadium, obviously involved with St Kilda. What's the correlation with that? Ross has been in charge.
He ruins games of footy,
but
Alex.
that's been through 2 different iterations of Ross.
So
really?
St Kilda before he went to Freo.
So 2 have been in each iteration of Ross.
And I bet you the games after that are Freo when Freo played at Marvel when he was coaching Freo. He's just an annoying coach.
I think Freo might have been in one too.
Anyway.
Nice one. This game sucked.
I thought we were just going to end it there.
Stupid Sexy Flanders was really good. He just ran amok. He had 42 touches.
No one was manning
But
up
that's
on him.
great. You have 42 touches, but your team kicks 48 points. I don't care about possessions. Have a bloody impact on the game rather than this crap chip around.
Yeah.
Actually take the game on.
Yeah.
Maybe a handball and try and break through the press that they're putting on you. You're smarter than that. You get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in perfect conditions to try something, and you didn't. You are morons. Ross Lyon, you are ruining football.
Oh,
sorry.
No, he's got a point.
Stupid Sexy Flanders on the Suns.
Yes, but also, that's what I mean, from the Suns.
Dan Butler was amazing.
Finally got a couple of goals,
He
3 goals.
finally popped off after being knocked over for 3 weeks. He was suspended, right, for 3 weeks?
I also reckon you did that down the wrong camera, by the way.
I was looking down there.
Yeah,
down
he
the
did.
middle.
Just yelling at Gerald.
I was like, why is he going that way?
But he had the king off, right? So he had the king off. They both kicked a couple of snags, and the rest of this game was horrible. So
this sucked. It honestly sucked.
Tim,
it was an embarrassment to the game of AFL.
It was. And
Australian rules football.
I think it's more embarrassing to Gold Coast that obviously you're going to go into a game against Ross Lyon. It's going to be defensive.
Yeah.
And you still only scored 48. Dimmer has to have a plan against that. So, very annoying.
This is it. You can't, they're the Gold Coast frauds because They can't win
great at
outside.
home.
But
it's also-
it's literally the latitude line. It's 28 degrees.
yeah.
You come down, they lose.
But if you're a St Kilda fan, there is no way you can enjoy that.
No, I
it
was
is
with
a
the St Kilda, yeah.
horrible existence. You have got
Horrible
perfect
existence.
conditions, and your team is kicking 7 goals to win a game of football. It's not like it was pissing down, raining sideways.
roof.
There's a roof. There is no wind. Great for football, and you serve up that dross. It is pathetic.
should have opened the roof. All right. That game sucked. Good
Yeah.
job, St Kilda.
All right,
Like,
They
I'm
won.
ready.
They got
I'm
to win
ready.
at least.
on Sunday, there was another game. I don't know. Don't need
No
to talk
one
about
knows
this
what
one
it was,
much.
Alex.
112-82. Swans win. Moving on. Carlton beat the best team in the AFL.
Oh, I thought you were actually going to do that.
Back to it. All right,
Did the Swans
Sydney.
win was going to punch you.
Sydney 100% gave the Cats a 6-goal handicap.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we'll give him a head start.
It's like, we need to make this a challenge. It's a 66-point turnaround
Yeah.
for this game. Pretty remarkable. The Swans are pretty good at footy.
Yes.
Alex.
Fox Footy just were very quick to let us know that they were absolutely all on the ground with their broadcast, with Howie doing the walk from the Performance Centre to the ground,
there you go.
along with David King. Oh, this is great. How good's footy? Oh, I love this. But 5 goals to none in the opening quarter. It ended up being 6 goals to none to start off. But
Yep.
Geelong, everything was just going their way. Like there was a couple of bounces, the ball
Yeah.
just landed up in Geelong hands. There was a great front and centre from Bowes to kick a goal. Tyson Stengel hits that dribble and it's like,
Stengel's goal was that
you're
would be up
just
there
like,
for
Mark,
goal,
that's
goal of the year.
wild. And then the holding the ball interpretation was very interesting in the first quarter, I thought.
Yeah, no, it was. There was a
Seemingly
few,
didn't go both ways.
few
but,
iffy ones.
You know, whatever.
doesn't matter in the end.
When the Swans finally kicked their first goal with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter, they kicked 109 points in 2 and a bit quarters of footy.
Oh yeah, I actually wrote 3 quarters, but it wasn't 3. It was like 2 and
'cause it was
2 and a third.
8 minutes and 13 seconds to
That's-
go, and Marty bombed it.
That's crazy.
The average win for the Swans now is 36 points at the SCG this year. Brody Grundy absolutely dominated again at the SCG. We've been banging on
He
about that
loves-
all year.
he loves it there, yeah.
SCG Supercoach is probably a Grundy captaincy.
Wish I captained him.
Stats guy stat about Geelong players having under 30 disposals got blown apart.
Yeah, well, when they go under 30 disposals, they win, but it doesn't help when their highest was 23.
Yeah.
No, you're never going to win a game of footy when
And
your highest
that's
is
like
23.
Jeremy Cameron had 21 touches, but like as a neutral watching the game and you're seeing him take marks on the halfback flanker on the wing, you're like,
We'd rather him up there, yeah.
doesn't really feel dangerous, does
No,
it?
no.
But Errol, Warner, Heaney, 90 disposals, 5 goals, 14 clearances, 34 score involvements.
That's pretty
That
good.
is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? Like they just flicked the switch that late in the second quarter, and I was just like,
They all could win a Brownlow in different teams, but then they're like, oh no, I'm going to steal votes.
this is the Josh Kennedy quandary.
Could they all tie each other?
How cool would that be?
That'd be so funny.
It's almost impossible, but yeah.
But yeah, and Marty Party was fantastic. I thought he was dangerous all day.
Yep.
A lot of clunks.
The biggest thing for me was the 10 different goal scorers.
Yeah.
It came
Yeah, I
from
chucked that in
all
there,
angles.
yeah.
It was absolute chaos.
But that's another win where the Swans have kicked over 100
There was a
points
point
as well.
where I think they had so was it 10 different goal scorers in the end?
Yep.
And I think there was a point where there was like
They all had
8,
2, I think,
and
as
they
well.
all had
Yeah.
like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And it was just like, this is just nuts.
I think I like 6 or 7
And then
had 2.
Papley kicking that banana on the run was sort of a
Papley
sealer.
finally did something. I know he hasn't had to do much
Yeah.
this year, but he finally did something.
Kicking
He's
4.
the best celebrator in the game still.
Oh, yeah.
he just runs off.
It's very funny. I'd like to see what his sprint is like chasing a defender compared to when he kicks a
Celebration.
goal. What's
Actually, we
faster
should
on
get
the
the
GPS
Petracca
data?
thing. Yeah, we should
Well,
find
that's what
it.
they've got, right?
Yeah.
Like Papley's top speed is hit
When he kicks a goal, he celebrates. Yeah.
Like they've literally
Yeah.
tracked it. It's like,
Yeah, I
we
forgot
know
about it.
That's
It's very
awesome.
funny.
That's amazing.
But Geelong, I thought Tanner Bruin was fantastic.
Dan Brown was good.
He's been underrated this year.
Yeah,
I
and
think. Yeah.
Holmes was pretty good, and so was Bowes as well. They all played pretty well. Tom Stewart got tagged out of the game by Jordan.
He's done.
He's not having this.
He's been horrible this year.
For someone who's got 5 All Australians.
Yeah.
It's a very high bar that he sets.
Yeah,
but,
he has been. Yeah, nowhere near his best.
Anyway, Swan's good. Geelong concerned, really concerned.
Very concerned. Yeah,
Yeah, they've had a rough month and a half.
Yeah,
very rough. Well, after like at the start, they couldn't lose.
Yeah, but that's also like you look at the
Fixture, yeah.
you look at the fixture. It wasn't that strong.
yeah. It was an interesting one.
Yeah.
Carlton then beat the best team in the AFL.
Well, I was just waiting
That
for
was a
Jim
big
just
point.
to. Yeah.
He's just been brewing this Carlton thing, even though he didn't even tip his own team.
I've got a thing on it.
Why would you tip your own team against the best team in the AFL, Stats Boy?
That's true.
I've got a.
That would just be silly
Not
to
a
tip your team against the best team in the AFL. Like you can be the biggest fan in the world, but when you're playing the best team in the AFL, the
enough.
Essendon
You
Bombers,
trust the best team
you're
in
gonna
the
trust
AFL.
them to
Now
be
you're
the
on it.
best team.
Oh, jeez. You brainwashed Alex.
So, thing about Essendon, obviously they've lost now to Gold Coast and Carlton in consecutive weeks. Their wins this season have been against 18th, 17th, 16th, 15th, 14th, 11th, and 7th. That was of this morning, so the ladder positions have
You can
changed
only
a bit.
beat who's in front of you, Alex. They're the best team in the AFL.
I mean,
I agree with
they've
you on that
beaten
one.
the bottom 5 teams.
Yeah, that's pretty average.
Carlton now, I believe, have 8 wins against teams that were in the top 4.
Yeah, you guys have been really
This one's unbeaten against teams in the top 8.
nice.
Saying we beat them.
Not bad.
96-70, the Carlton Blues win. This was a really fun game. For the simple fact
Carlton
that
fans.
Carlton didn't give us all the heart attack that we basically expected. The most important aspect of this game was it didn't really involve Charlie, Harry, Warper, and Cripper going absolutely ballistic.
That was the big thing for me. Walsh and Crisp only
It
having...
was Hewitt. It was a bit of Blakers.
That's what you guys have needed the last 5
Zach
years.
Williams. It was Elijah Hollands kicking 3 goals.
Yep.
It was like... That was all but the biggest thing for me was De Koning. Just he was absolutely unreal in the middle by himself
that
again.
stat once again just...
Solo rucking.
Solo rock, keep him
Jim's going to keep yelling about it.
Solo rocking. Newman was really good behind the ball as well, which is really important, I think, when it comes to Essendon, right? You just need that marshal back there between he and Weeders. Like there was types of, was it Nick Cox, Nick Martin, and there was like at least one other Essendon forward who kept threatening just to absolutely blow the game open.
Perkins?
Might have been Perkins. So they basically, they were very inaccurate in front of goal, were the Essendon bomb rays.
They were.
Which was
like 2 weeks in a row,
much to their detriment, right? And so between Cox, he goes 1-1. Archie Perkins kicks a point. Setterfield misses as well. Colwell kicked a couple of points. Langford kicked a couple of points. Didn't even kick a goal. And Nick Martin went 2-2.
So after Essendon earlier in the season winning games that expected them to lose, they are now losing games that expected them to win.
That's the other.
Hello to Max Lawton.
The other one was anyone who has Langford in their All-Australian team, take him out. He's the biggest. He just goes well against the low teams. He's when he has a good defender on him, he's never going to be All-Australian.
This is stats guy. Yep, down the camera.
Can't stand how people think Langford's having a really good season. He's kicked a lot of goals, but against low teams.
Captain of the handsome team, though.
Yeah, he can be a handsome team. Yeah.
The biggest thing here was that Essendon had the time in their forward 50 of 67% or something.
Yeah.
Carlton wildly more effective going in, 15-6 to 9 goals, 16. And just their sheer effectiveness across the ground. They were just better with the ball. And I think just the structure that Zach Williams gives them, just that extra little ball user on the ground up forward and at least on the half forward flanks, God, he makes a difference. It's the same with the Jack Martin.
Can Jack Martin get in?
He might actually keep Jack Martin out of the game.
You need 2 of them in a team.
But in that back, so as I was saying, right, like Nick Newman was massive and he and Weeders, without obviously Doherty there, but having Sard just back, McGovern back, it just makes a big difference when your defense can at least make a big, like Brody Kemp, Fogarty and stuff, like making a big difference out down there and make those dudes like Cox and Perkins work a little bit harder for just those, rubbish goals that they just pick up out of nowhere. So it was pretty good. And up front, Elijah Hollands was a gun. It was fantastic.
It was awesome. Cripps and Walsh, this is a weird one. Is them getting less touches good for your forward entries?
As long as they're more effective.
There was a few of your clearances where Walsh sometimes just blazes away and bombs it. A lot of your forward entries were just flat and you can easily take a mark or easily crumb it rather than these big forward entry bombs. Yeah. So it actually helped a little bit.
It's the sort of idea, right? Of when you have Hewitt, Kennedy, stuff like that, sort of getting it into a Charlie or a Harry, it makes a big difference. Yeah. So that was fun. It was a fun win.
You had the squids hat on.
I did have the squids hat on.
That was a funny video. I was like, what is going on here?
The best part was it was the second video. I actually had the countdown, but I'd turned the camera around the wrong way. And it was zoomed in basically like this. It was like the world's most boomer video you could ever imagine.
You should have understood that.
So
Can we see that?
I should have actually.
Do you still have it on your phone? Oh,
because I'm like, oh, God. Yeah. And then quickly he got it back up.
That's funny.
And Carlton moved to second on the ladder. And today, Collingwood ran right over the top of the Melbourne Demons because they're bad.
They suck.
89-51 in the end, and that sort of actually flatters the Demons because it wasn't even really that close. They had 4 goals basically at the end.
They had a lot of scoring shots though.
They had more. They kicked 4 out in the full.
But
a
couple of posters that were the points post. Rue kicks 3 goals of the 6.
He was good. He was great.
Was a 2 for Cozzy as well.
Yeah.
But the fun thing for the Pies, I guess, they look at this game and go, we won this without Daicos doing much. Josh Daicos was really good. But Kruger goes up and pops up and goes, I loved him. It was great.
What's the guy from Seinfeld? There's a guy from Seinfeld, Kruger, isn't it?
Kruger.
The boss?
He's like George's boss or whatever.
Yeah, he just reminded me of that.
Yeah, Kruger National or something.
Yeah.
Harvey Harrison kicked 3.
Yes.
Will Hoskin-Elliott popped up for 2 goals
He
as
was
well.
great.
They were just everywhere. Josh Daicos had 34 touches in the end.
It was a quintessential Collingwood performance from the last 18 months where the lesser dudes bobbed up and had really good
Chris
games.
was awesome.
Noble at 24. Crisp was really
He
good,
got
as I
best on,
mentioned,
I think,
27. Steel Sidebottom took a great snag. Howe was threatening to take every sort of hanger under the sun.
Yeah.
It was just a really good all-round win. Clary Oliver still had 28 touches in the end.
Bailey Fritsch had 17.
How many handballs
That
did
feels
Clary
wrong.
have?
Clary has
9 and 19.
Yeah, he always has more handballs. But
the
that's a
big
lot.
thing, obviously, is Petracca and Daicos, which sort of changes the outlook for both these teams, depending on how brutal the Daicos one was. He sort of tried to run it off, and then they sat him late for the sub. Petracca copped a massive knee to the ribs, very clearly broke some ribs, tried to play through it.
He looked fine. What drugs did they give him to bring him back out?
Couple puffs on the whistle and away you go.
Yeah,
We love a green whistle.
Either way, 89-51. Out of the vibes from this game, we've literally just sat there and talked about this game live.
You guys have talked about it a lot.
3.5 hours.
I wanted to mention Gorney. He was awesome. You can't, put their loss on him. A lot of their losses.
Salem was really good too.
Salem was good. Yeah, he's ball
was
use.
everywhere.
Yeah, but he doesn't defend.
But it's just their forward line. Rue kicks a couple of goals,
Yeah.
and then Cosy popped up for 2. Fritsch popped up for 2 late as well, right? Oh no, he missed that last one. So
Junk time, Fritsch.
they just stink.
Yep.
It's just
They're going to miss
They
the
should
finals.
be doing a lot better. And I think you mentioned on the live stream, they don't look fit. Like last week, same as they just looked so slow and tired and not at the AFL standard at the moment.
I didn't say they didn't look fit.
I think that, yeah.
There's just there's no dash, there's no run, there's no dare from any of them, and it's like
Different to last year.
They're also aging, so I think their list is very close to teetering as to where Richmond's is heading and where West Coast currently are. They are very close to that. Like if Max and Petracca go down, they are cooked.
Yeah.
And that's a big if, obviously, but Petracca has gone down now. So
First time in 146 games.
Yeah.
I might miss.
either way, good win for the Pies. King's birthday.
Awesome win.
they're
They are rolling.
bounce back after the loss to the Bulldogs. Like that's an extra win that they
With all their injuries, this is massive.
that's
they were
a great win, yeah.
and they were the outsider going into this game.
Were
It was
they?
a big betting move for Melbourne this morning.
I didn't know
So
75 favourites by the end, isn't it?
$1.75. So it's a
I
good
didn't know
win
that,
for
yeah.
Collingwood. It's they're going to back themselves to sneak into the top 4, given how even this season is.
Absolutely.
Tipping results.
Oh, Jim doesn't want to talk about this.
The worst part is I didn't galaxy brain myself into any actual correct picks this week. I got 1, so
That's hard to do, honestly.
ridiculous.
I mean, I only got 3.
I threaded the needles.
Those got me over the line, lads.
Those 3 results on Saturday all went against me. They go that way. What, you get 4, I get 6. Yeah.
Tough one.
North in WA. Actually, I didn't say that.
Again, this gets me for tipping the Western Bulldogs, like honestly.
I didn't say that about North. We won 3 of our last 4 in WA. Should we just move there?
North specialist. You actually probably should.
You should
move
probably
there.
merge with West
We
Coast.
actually have a lot of fans over there because we
and be called the North West Coast Eagles.
I'm honestly happy with that. We win there.
Yeah, there's definitely something north of West Coast that you just change your name to.
Yeah.
Just go to Broome. Who cares?
Broome.
All right, full credit to the boys. The best team of the round. I wanted to give this to Carlton, but we'll just give it to Sydney.
Yep, agreed.
They were just too good. They spotted 6 goals
They
to
were
Geelong.
unbelievable.
Went, they're the meme, we're just leaning forward. All right, now we better pay attention.
Yeah.
That's just that's what they were. They just went, we'll actually turn it on now.
16 goals in 2.5 quarters of football.
Head
Ridiculous.
start.
Stats boy.
Gotta be North.
Boo.
We've absolutely smashed the powerhouse.
Let's give him
Give
this.
me something.
Give me
one
full
week,
credit.
1
Full
week.
credit.
Full credit
to
to the boys. Full credit to the boys.
Giving you the win.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you. Yeah. We beat the powerhouse of West
You're
Coast.
not going to be. The thing is, at least you've won a game. You're not going to be winless.
Now I'm actually confident that we'll beat West Coast here, which is pretty handy.
Maybe.
So. So we might have 2 wins.
Harley Reid and
see.
Tim Kelly might play
Harley
in
Reid
that game.
2.0.
And Tim
Oh wait,
Kelly.
do we get Harley Reid?
No.
Why not?
He didn't play.
No, I don't want him.
Sydney
camera.
very clearly awesome. Carlton very good.
Brisbane Lions also very good. Big win.
Yeah, I think so as well. They were
smoked 'em.
underdogs as well.
They were underdogs.
Yeah.
It was a good win Friday.
Yep.
Best on ground of the week. Who wins your best on ground? Let's do the slide. Pat Rafter.
Oh,
the M&D slide.
That
Enjoyed
was
this.
great. Yeah, a bit akadaka.
We were discussing this prior to the live stream. Did the ice bath look less cold to you this year?
Yes.
There was less when they came out of it. They didn't look as cold. Yeah,
It didn't look as deep either.
Is that because Fags did his hammy a couple of years ago?
But he's also 73.
Yeah, he's pretty old. Yeah.
Like
It did look less cold. Yeah.
Jack Rewald barely flinched.
No, he didn't look happy.
My
getting
mate
out.
said this actually. Nick Nat cheated. He was pretty much wearing a wetsuit.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
like,
smart.
Smart. Yeah.
Like Selwood.
Nick Nat lives in Perth. He doesn't want to do ice baths.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
true.
like Selwood, it just takes so long for anything to reach his brain synapses now. They're just like, oh, I'm cold.
It's like Homer. So something said something. Come back. Ah, you're still here? Get the hell out.
Pat Rafter, though, looked the best next to Aaron
Phillips.
Aaron
She
Phillips
looked
was
exactly
great.
like Pink. That was pretty cool.
Pat Rafter, like literally hiding in the crowd as Brian
Yeah.
Johnson was pretty awesome.
It was so weird at the start, but then it was pretty fun.
Tim Watson, can we not let him host those again?
He made it a bit awkward.
Shocking.
Yeah. He made it a bit awkward.
Oh, God.
Brian Taylor, though.
BT's got like 87 different scripted
He was good,
already
yeah.
like written down
Notes.
quips and metaphors and like notes, like basic jokes. And you're like, lean into it, BT.
Mr. Brightside.
Can you please say?
Yeah, you forgot who. Sorry.
Can you please let him say? Let him entertain you one more time. He said it 8 times. 8.
He gets stuck on a loop sometimes, BT.
It's like just you need to turn him off.
It was like Joel Selwood's loop that a couple
Just
of
turn
weeks
it
ago.
off. Turn it on and off again. You got to reset your BT. Have you reset your BT lately? Anyway,
Joel Selwood was Irish. Yeah.
Other one, best on ground of the week. Whoa, Errol, 37 touches and big snag. He was awesome. Like, what an absolute weapon.
Awesome. We talked about it last week here in the office that post-bye it feels like Errol's worked his way into the year and his post-bye just gone, hey, remember me?
Love that. I did want to give it to, like, I don't know, a Carlton player. It was so spread out.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Yeah. Like George Hewitt looked great.
That's a good problem to have.
Well, Errol, though, he was just incredible. I was watching that game just going, this is wicked.
Yeah.
He's so good. Anyway, stats boy.
Power forwards kicking goals. We love that on this show. Eric Hipwood, career high 6 goals, career high 20 disposals. Had to give it to him. And then a sneaky shout out to Suva kicking 5. I just love seeing guys kick more than 5 goals, kick it back. So got to be Hipwood. That's probably his best game of his career, probably.
Yeah.
So
that in that Melbourne, I know he only kicked 4 in that Melbourne final, but in a final it feels better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome by
Alex.
Brody Grundy, 25 touches with 21 of them contested and 34 hitouts.
What a beast.
Even when the Swans were getting like beat in the first quarter and a half, he was still killing it in the centre. And then once they got on top, it's like, Heaney, bang. Chad, bang. Like there was just hitouts. Like I should have found the scoring moments. I think it was 11.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Old mate, no mates. Who's got no mates this week? Culture Deer for nearly spoiling the West Coast, the Hawks win by touching.
It's a great name.
Touching the snag. Who was it who kicked it?
I can't remember who kicked it either.
Oh,
but
God,
I know what you're talking about.
But touched it. Literally, it was a goal,
Late,
and we're still going, and like just touched it before it crossed the line. You're like, oh, that's bad.
They're lucky that they won.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
They were just held on to win.
Yeah.
Because that would have been the worst. Because I think they also got stuck in Tassie overnight, right?
Did they?
Yeah.
They had to get a
James
bus.
Sicily would have been mad.
He would have been punching walls. So he's got to be old mate.
But
no
they
mates.
had to go to Hobart.
Had to go to Hobart, wait a night, and then fly out the next day. So you know that bus ride from Launceston to Hobart would have sucked if
James
Oh,
they
Sicily
hadn't
punching
won.
walls.
You already got Sicily losing it because he's stuck in Tassie going, I hate being in Tassie. It's the worst and so green and nice and cold and clear and the booze is good and I hate it so much. And you're like, would you just settle down, sis?
Gerald, write that down for a clip.
How the hell did that keep going?
What are you doing? And he's just losing. Just imagine like the repairs he has to do to his hotel room. Like that's what it just would have kept going off the bus. Anyway, so there's some old mate, no mates. Matthew Nix is also an honourable mention for me because he is copping it left, right, and centre there for the Crows, and rightly so because his team is bad.
Can we look at their
Mostly.
recruiting department too?
Yeah.
The recruiting department. We talked about this in the live streams. Like they're just like Harrison Petty. Here's all the money.
Nah.
Oh, that's a bullet dodge. Oh God.
The fans on the TikTok were not happy with us.
Oh, yeah.
The Adelaide fans were not happy.
Yeah. Prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong. Get
Prove us wrong.
Like you lost to Richmond. The Swans lost to Richmond too. I can't talk.
Anyway, stats boy, old mate, no mates.
Got to be Dimmer. Since mentioning that he hates Marvel Stadium, he hates going there. 7 losses and 1 draw.
Can I also point out one of them was to the Gold Coast?
One of them was to the Gold Coast, which is pretty funny. They never win there either.
Sorry, everyone yell at me. Sorry, it was to Gold Coast.
Yeah.
I see people go, stop calling him the Gold Coast. Stop calling him the West Coast. My bad.
The Gold Coast. But yeah, Dimmer's obviously taken this bad aura from Richmond. Gone, guys, we hate playing at
I
Marvel.
like that you said aura. I'd say stank.
Yeah. I tell you what
I don't
he
know why, I
needs.
don't think I've ever said
He's
aura.
up on the Gold Coast, hit up some of those asshole influencers and get some sage and just start waving it everywhere you go.
Kyrie Irving won't be doing too much after the
Get
next
some
2
bone
games of
broth,
NBA.
whatever everyone else up there says.
Yeah, got to be Dimmer.
All right, old mate, no mates, Alex.
The fans, we have no more Thursdays.
Oh,
That gets us into why I can't stand no more Thursday night footy. This is still just flipping ridiculous. How do we... This is a bit of an Outback Takehouse.
Oh, God.
I've now at least sort of flipped my entire thinking on this of like the AFL are too dumb to get out of their own way, right?
yeah.
Or contraire. Are they holding Thursday night footy over the head of the broadcasters going, no, we know how popular this is, so next time we renegotiate our media rights, we'll dangle some more Thursdays. Or we might just sell Thursdays to Apple.
No, because
We might sell Thursdays to Amazon.
In-
Whoa,
in the-
you better
could
pay
be-
up.
you
The
could be onto
deal,
something.
the new deal starts next year, and there'll be Thursdays guaranteed for at least the first 16 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, but they haven't guaranteed them all. This
Yeah.
is just them dangles.
It could be.
Give us
That's the-
dangles.
that's
Sell the
only-
other, they'll sell the other 7.
No,
to
they
Amazon.
haven't because they've already sold
go,
they've
dangles.
already sold all the games to Fox and to Channel 7. So the games have been sold. It doesn't say when they're going to be broadcast.
Dangles.
Jim's is still dangling.
You got to do dangles.
He's got nothing to dangle.
He doesn't understand that every game's already sold.
All the games are sold, and it's up to the AFL when they're actually going to put them out there, right?
Just get
And
extra
go,
games.
right,
Yeah.
we're going to do the Thursdays. They're sitting there going, we're not doing that. We're not going to schedule Thursdays till you pay more. Dangle,
They
dangle,
did.
dangle.
They got more. They
Yeah,
threatened to
and
go to
guess
Channel
what?
10.
Guess what? Next time,
Imagine if the
rolls
AFL
up,
ended up on
they're just going to
Paramount
keep
Plus
holding this.
like the
They're going to hold
A-League.
this over our heads. They go, oh, it's only 16, and you're like, can you give us 23? They're like, dangle, dangle, dangle,
24.
dangle,
24.
dangle, dangle. 24 weeks. Dangle. We'll do a round 0.1.
Oh, no.
Dangle, dangle,
0.2,
dangle.
0.4.
And you're like, here we go.
Stop it, Jim.
Andrew Gill and Dylan just dangle, dangle, dangle. Off he
Stop
goes.
saying dangle.
I'm just going to dangle, dangle, dangle this over your head. Also, we have too many Browns.
I heard, did you say that in the live? When
Yeah.
did you say that? Yeah, I heard it somewhere.
People with the
Nathan-
last name Brown for all those
Too many
playing at home.
brownies.
Nathan,
Brownies to be
Campbell, and Jono.
We have a lot of
too many-
Joneses as well.
We have too many
of them.
Jones, Jonesies, Joneses, Jonos, and Brownies. Can we? This goes back to one of my very first why I can't stands of this season.
Too many nicknames.
Nicknames.
Yeah.
Grow up and use names. Isn't that right, Stats Boy?
Oh, it says you want NBA Australia.
He just missed the joke.
I know, I heard that.
I'm literally the king of the
Yeah,
nicknames.
he is
At the same time, I'm not a professional broadcaster yet. But no
we
Thursday
get
night footy.
paid for this.
I'm pretty sure we are, yeah.
Well, yeah, we did, I guess. We did podcast. Thursday night footy, none of that is shocking. It's the worst short-sighted decision by the AFL ever.
Yeah.
And there is no amount of backtracking or back-talking that they can say that will justify it ever.
You realise we're going to get like the first elimination final on a Thursday.
That's what I said, regular
Yeah.
season
Okay,
football.
that's handy, at least.
So the regular season football.
Yeah.
Like finals are a completely different beast. But
Yeah, because they
you
do
need-
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Arvo, Saturday night.
My entire point is
That's
this
awesome.
week is perfect. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
how
Monday.
good
No
did it
overlap.
work?
We have 5 days of footy.
Lovely.
You get 2 days to decompress, back in. Let's go. It's the best. Prove me wrong.
Yep.
Alex.
Commentators not being at the ground. I'm
Yeah, it's-
honestly sick of it.
It
Like,
is annoying, yeah.
as we said, Fox Footy made the big show and dance about being at the SCG yesterday, and it was awesome. It was great because when one of the last goals that the Swans got, and Chad Warner's just sneaking out on the wing, and everyone could sort of see it at the ground because they could hear the chant, and then you just hear David King go, Chad's out, Chad's out.
Yeah,
and
it was cool, yeah.
Whereas if you're in the studio and you're just watching the screen and you're seeing Logan McDonald and Amati with the ball, you can't see Chad Warner. But if you're at the ground looking at the play, you can see this. Also, that I'm assuming calling the game in Tasmania off the screen would have sucked given the glare.
Yeah,
Also
exactly, yeah.
by the constant mistakes and, mixing
It's
up
just not
players.
professional,
Calling
yeah.
it at the game, I reckon you would have been able to overcome that. But
So
also,
it's next year that they're all always at the game.
I think so, yes. I think the deal with Foxtel buying... So
surprised that's not a thing already,
Foxtel owns Saturday from next year.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be like early afternoon. They're going to try and get like 3 to 4 games in. I don't know how they're going to do it. But yeah, all at the ground, which is great because that means Jim could be doing special comments next year.
Could be. Will be. Stats boy.
Just teams not practicing enough goal kicking, I think. There's 2
Need
weeks
to
in a row.
protect our hammies.
I don't know if they are, so because I don't go and watch the training session. Maybe I should go and inspect
Yeah,
it.
go
but
full nuff.
I might have to go full
You
nuff.
and King.
Suva, how many goals did you kick in
North,
training?
North are the second most accurate team. We don't
Love
have
that.
as many shots, but because Suva just is a dead eye.
when you kick at the goals 8 times.
Yeah.
When you've only scored
I didn't really want to say that.
when you're
but-
the only team to have scored less than 800 points this season.
Oh, it's been a
yeah.
good 800 though. Anyway, I just don't think teams are practicing enough. You got, was it Essendon 2 weeks in a row costing themselves?
Oh, yes.
You got West Coast costing themselves. Just learn how to kick straight. Back in the day, everyone could kick straight.
Just be better and get the footy in there enough times to kick goals.
Just kick straighter.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. Like, Essendon had a million chances and they completely bottled it.
I don't know if they practice enough.
I mean, they could just turn to me for a bit of goal kicking practice. I was out there, as I mentioned
Squid
earlier,
said
on
you
the,
could kick
the
far.
Squids. Dad could kick really far, yeah.
25
If
metres.
you're a 5-year-old.
Hey, I thought it was 2 kicks to the G.
He's like, wow. I'm like, yeah. Check that out.
he's hobbling and he's hobbling back. Dad, do a big one.
Dad, how far was that? It was 60.
Mom, Dad kicked at 60. No, he didn't.
The rabbits.
The backyard's only 5 meters.
Just keep the rabbits out, Shauna. But there were 2 other blokes having kicked a kick on the other side. I was like, don't look over there. But I'm like, the worst part is I'm like trying to impress the 5-year-old. The 20-month-old is just off. I'm like, there's a road over there somewhere. He's probably fine. Check this one out. Bang!
How's he go with taking of the marks? Is he scared of the footy or is he like committing?
So the baby's actually better than the older one. Taking marks. So we're working on that. Anyway.
He's just going to walk around corners in the house. Dad, bang! Just throw something at him.
SuperCoach Wash from a pretty tough week. I had a horrible, disastrous week, especially with the Nick Daicos captaincy decision. I was literally on the live stream debating, do we go Daicos, do we go Gulden? Landed on Daicos. That was a mistake. Gulden was incredible. But then it also means that you've got some pretty big injuries, obviously, with Petracca.
Yep.
Whether or not Daicos is playing next week is a big question mark, especially when you got buys. Maybe you move on from Daicos. It is absolutely just gnarly. So Errol smashed it, came out this week. Brody Gundy was awesome this week.
That was my big captaincy. Like, I switched that late.
Grundy's a good call.
Yesterday, and I put it in our group chat. I'm like, I'm going Grundy as captain.
Should have done that, yeah.
Stupid Sexy Flanders was awesome as well, 152. Bodie Uland at 157 for the Suns.
Where the hell did that come from?
Even
like
if you, as a Roos fan, if you chucked it on the Sheasel, 129.
Yeah, he's been, the first couple of weeks he was in the midfield, he looked off, and then the last 3 weeks he's been awesome.
Dawson ripped off 146, and on to the point where I'm like, I'm going from Luke Jackson to DeConing. Let's go.
Jordan Dawson ripped off 117 in that loss.
Yep. Lockie Neal had another 134. Yo had 127.
Zach Fisher, 120.
Zerrett still managed 125 despite the Chincotta tag. Oh, I didn't even mention Alex Chincotta. I should have actually thought about him for best on ground of the week because, God, he was good. And then kicked 2 goals in the fourth quarter that basically won them the game. But was always everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's such an underrated aspect of being a good footballer, just always being there.
Yeah.
When the ball is to be won. And if you win the ball, even better.
Definitely.
In terms of the rookies, there wasn't the big one was Will Dawson getting 0 points.
I know, I didn't bring him in.
Shoulder,
so. Sullivan, 48 points with the break even of -3.
Got there in the end. Happy days.
The big ones for me were Tom Stewart and Tom Green, both getting less than 80 is a killer. And Tom Green's been out of form. Tom Stewart's been out of form the last 6 weeks. I might have to get rid of Stewart, I think.
And Ridley against the Blues ended up on something. I didn't see what he finished on.
Good job.
Because Nick Martin didn't do a great one either. Anyway, there you go. You can check out all of that on the official AFL SuperCoach
Ridley
podcast.
112.
There you go. Not bad. That'll be out tomorrow. But Daicos Petracca is going to be the big story this week. That's it. AFL Today is done for round 13. Thank you to Alex and the Stats Boy.
Thank you.
It was a big show.
Good weekend.
Big week.
Fun times.
Yeah.
Remember to smash across all the socials. See us doing lots of fun stuff, filling in your footy gaps. Facey IG, X, TikTok, YouTube, all the good stuff. You can check out the Cricket Today podcast, Football Today podcast, NBA Australia. Hold all tickets everywhere you get your podcasts. Get around all of them, like Diesel Williams getting behind a handball, a couple of Brownlows, and also getting behind Weeders after the game the other night, which is pretty fun. Just like, there's Diesel. G'day, Diesel. Hello. Hello, Diesel. It was very fun. So there you go. That's it. We'll catch you for the Midweek Madness show on Wednesday for AFL Today. That's only in 2 days. That's weird.
Yeah.
Until then, look after yourselves. Remember, footy's back. If you like this show, make sure you check out all the other shows in the Sports Today network, from the AFL Today Show to the Cricket Today podcast, the Football Today podcast, as well as NBA Australia and NFL Australia. With Sports Today, your sporting needs have never been easier to cover.